The FAFSA award process for 2024-25 is a wreck. And much like a huge auto wreck, the process impacts more than just the 1 or 2 or 100 cars caught up in the mess. Some students and contributors are having issues with just trying to file the form without being kicked out, having their ID number not work, or finding out after filing that the formulas used to award aid are inaccurate. Some students are making it through the process without damage, but just as with a car wreck, the pileup brings backup in traffic and sends ripples through travel patterns. In the case of the FAFSA, the backup will mean that colleges will be delayed in getting the reports they need to determining funding levels so they can produce the aid award letters specific to their school and each student. With aid letters coming out later than usual, acceptances will be required at a later date. So waitlisted students will have to wait longer. And these are just some of the impacts that can be anticipated. Hi, I'm Margaret Meek, and this is the FAFSA may be a wreck, but it is still important. Before we go any further, file your FAFSA. The process is improving as the form is being used and adjustments are being made. You don't want to be among the students who lost out on $52 million in Pell Grants that were not awarded last year just in Minnesota because the students didn't take the time to fill their FAFSA out. File your FAFSA as soon as possible. As for the new and improved FAFSA, Congress mandated changes. They tried to solve a few issues and may well have done that, and simultaneously created many more. So when you cast any government-related vote, and you should vote, do so for people who can recognize the whole issue. Solving the issue of the moment is not the same as making a system work. The new FAFSA form, timeline, and process are shining examples of trying to solve the issue of the moment. The interworkings of any government program or any organization or education institution are built upon any number of systems and policies that can lead to any number of outcomes. Let me give you a very measurable example. The new FAFSA form has fewer questions. It is provided in 11 languages, and at some point it will be a more clear-cut process. At the same time, problems were caused that will cost some students a lot. Claiming the value of farmland and equipment against a student's SAI will significantly burden many farming and rural families. The same is true for small business owners. These changes and others will hurt some students. The FAFSA isn't the only example we can give of those in decision-making positions trying to solve problems for one population while causing more for others. Loan forgiveness without restructuring how student loans are managed is an excellent example of this phenomenon. As you progress through life, and especially your education, remember that no system operates independently of every other system. Ever. So, we are where we are with the FAFSA application process. The new version of the FAFSA application is troubled. It is expected to be so despite its improvements. Why? Because it still brings together a large number of components and decision points for each student applicant, not to mention their contributors, otherwise known as parents and guardians. Tying into IRS filings, collecting family data, measuring the size of farm and small business assets, linking college information, and so much more is complicated. Even with the shorter application, there are still at least 18 questions processed in up to 11 languages, all with a minimum of at least 17 million applicants. The problems with filing and the changes to the aid award timeline are causing a great deal of consternation and frustration for those who continue to try to meet the deadlines established by the schools they apply to. Which brings us to the problems that keep getting pushed down the road. Once your financial information is collected and processed, it is sent to the colleges you reported on your form. Unfortunately, due to the issues with how eligibility has been calculated on the form since it opened on December 31st, 2023, the data will not be available to colleges until well after the end of January 2024. Then, each college needs to take the information presented and put your information into their formula so they can determine the level of funding you and all students accepted will be offered. That offer then gets presented so you can compare schools and determine which financial offer and school is best for you. Some schools are announcing that they will not send their award letters until late March or even mid-April. With the standard college acceptance deadline of May 1st, colleges will either change that date or the turnaround window for students to accept college financial offers will be very tight. The later the school receives the information, the later they will get you their offers, and all of this only works if the correct data is passed on. So if offer letters are postponed and each college has its process, offers may come to students at differing times. It will be left to you to determine the college you will attend by the varying acceptance deadlines. And to make life even more fun, colleges don't use the same format for writing their offers. You will have to determine what each college is offering while at the same time confirming the actual cost of tuition, fees, and room and board. Yippee! Isn't adulthood great? The question then becomes, what can you do now? First, do what you can to file the form. You can watch the videos we have created on the topic, and there are resources to help you file if there are problems. Click on the link below this video. A wide variety of issues are popping up, and you need to ensure you are finding the resources that apply to your situation. Second, determine exactly how much money you have to pay for school without aid from the student aid process or the schools you want to attend. It would be best to determine the level of debt you can take on that will not saddle you with payments for the rest of your natural life. You must also make sure you know each college's response deadlines, and you must meet those deadlines. Third, ask or look for help. That is the most important skill any student can have in their toolkit as they prepare and attend school. Ask for help filing the form. Ask for help determining the level of aid you're being offered. Use the financial aid office at each school as you review their offer. And ask family, friends, and counselors to help measure the offers you are presented side by side. Fourth, if the waitlist dominoes are holding you hostage because the school that is your first choice will not offer formal acceptance or an offer letter until it is too late to meet other acceptance deadlines for other colleges that are interesting to you, practice patience and put your desired colleges in preference order beyond your favorite. Then when you get the aid letter, you can filter the decision only through the financial lens. But don't miss any other college deadlines for acceptance as you wait to be moved up from any school's waitlist. Finally, you get to do it all again in October. You must file the FAFSA every year from senior year in high school through your college completion. Hopefully, it will be easier as the form is adjusted between now and then. While there is no question that the student aid process needed to be updated, the current state of the FAFSA filings and reporting to colleges is a classic case of be careful what you wish for. The FAFSA application process is a wreck right now. Find your patience, ask for help, and try to look beyond the issue of the moment when trying to solve problems. Please like, subscribe, and share if you found this video helpful.